Well, let's get to some movers now that we are about 10 minutes into today's session. We're watching shares of Rite Aid. The shares are moving a little bit higher this morning, about 2.5% after reporting fourth quarter earnings. The company reported $5.7 billion in revenue. That's a decrease from the year prior. It also saw net losses come in narrower than expected, though, at $306.7 million. When it comes to pharmacy, it helps to put things in perspective here. Rite Aid is a shadow of its former self. It's in last place behind Walgreens and CVS, by a lot, whether you're talking about market cap, whether you're talking about sales, whether you're talking about number of locations. The market cap of Rite Aid is now just $86 million. That is not a typo, $86 million. It's pharmacy sales. That doesn't include pharmacy services, by the way, around $18 billion. That's versus more than $100 billion for the likes of CVS and Walgreens Boots. And of course, CVS and that doesn't include the insurance or the other parts of the business. That's just the retail and pharmacy part. So it's so interesting because it's such a brand name still, but it's just the other two are just so much bigger.
Yeah, still a brand name. I mean, for Rite Aid, and I really think back to when we were talking about this earlier, about the deal that was kind of much larger than it eventually netted out to be. There was I forget the total original dollar figure, but it came down eventually, a deal between Walgreens and Rite Aid that netted out Walgreens with about 1,900 locations of Rite Aid that they later on started to initiate a rebranding process. That was a deal that was worth $4.4 billion. However, it's because they stepped off of a much larger deal. It's the multiple about 3-4x, and essentially just said, you know what, it's going to be more advantageous if we just go after a select amount of stores in regions that we want to be in instead of purchasing this company in totality. Now you're taking a look at Rite Aid and going up against a Walgreens and a CVS that I would argue probably have a much better ability to source inventory, move through inventory, have annexed a lot of the insurance product as well and those services too. And so all of that considered, Rite Aid has had a tough go of it, to say the least, over the past several years.
And these numbers may have looked better, but they still have $2.9 billion in debt, and they've got an interim CEO. So this is still one to watch.